Once again, happy morning.
Good morning, Father.
Wish you a great day. Today, we'll be rocking with some new steps regarding reading part C. This week, almost every day, we have sessions.
Father, actually, I just want to thank you for arranging so many sessions. Thank you so much.
This is mainly because our empowering team is working for me. So I have saved so much time because of them. You allot 10 minutes to assist this platform. You can relieve me of other works of managing the platform, and I can give you sessions even every day. Now there are the two empowering group members who are helping me in every corner. So they do whatever I want the things to be done. So enroll more and more.
Thank you so much. Empowering Army, thank you so much.
Yeah. I wish that everybody becomes a part of Empowering Army. Spend at least 10 minutes per day for others, empowering others, assisting the platform, so that I dedicate full time for training. And today, reading part C is a bit advanced session. If there are beginners, don't worry. You can go into my videos, previous sessions, find out the details. I may not be explaining again the details, minor details, or the basic aspects of the various strategies. However, you'll be able to understand in general what is to be done, and we'll be looking at a particular text where we'll be doing the analysis. Our motto is to make you fall in love with OET. I am damn sure there are thousands of students being fallen in love with OET, and it has become an addiction for them. Learning as a basic become a passion, and they're enjoying and rocking. And now I have to tell them, stop studying, no need to practice so much. And a lot of people text me saying of their improvements. That's great, but if you have some issues, challenges, don't worry. Be persistent and ask your concerns in the mentors hour. And this is, even the admissions are regulated as per the mentors hour's concerns. We have asked concerns, we have admitted them on a preferential basis, and always the empowering group and the premier members have a preferential admission. So also all those people added people to the platform and empowered others have been given a preferential admission to the live sessions. So let's rock. And if you're watching on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing. Give us a thumbs up if you like the work, and share so that we empower more and more people and help them in their struggles. So also keep the bell icon pressed so that you get notifications as and when we upload new videos. Today will be slightly fast, but then because I think majority of you are not beginners, so we might go a little fast, but then definitely you can note down in a piece of paper if any slide you need to revisit. Definitely we'll come back to those slides and explain to you again. And make sure that you have a pen and paper with you. As I go on explaining, try to write down the things that will make it more clear. OET 2.0 Professional English Text Subtest Reading Part C, and Reading Part C, basic key skills we are looking into. And as I usually tell you, we are aiming at a 450 to 500 score. 450 is not a big deal. Definitely you can if you go with persistent practice with patience. All these basics, duration is 1 hour part A, 15 minutes, and part B and C, 45 minutes. And as we get into part C, two long passages are given, extracts from informative articles or papers about issues related to the healthcare field. These are MCQs, 2 passages, 16 questions, MCQs with the 4 options. 6 questions, comprehension of viewpoint, opinion, impressions, conclusions drawn, and give a definition of, or 2 questions on what we call lexical questions. Give a definition for the meaning of a word or a phrase. Explain the meaning of the word in the context. Okay. And as usual, I just run through. You should be looking into all the headings. If there are subheadings, names, person, device, body parts, abbreviations, number, percentage, scale, synonyms, synonymous language, paraphrasing, cause and effect, comparison, types, chronology or time expressions, modal verbs, and opinion words. Those are 7 Sapta Sutras, you have to use it everywhere. Synonyms, comparisons, contrast, scale, narration. Usually you have passive voice, and the last one is adjectives, use of adjectives. Okay, to select the correct answer, 7 skills we are going to look into today. So first one is read the text for gist. Okay, 7 skills to select the correct answer in reading part C. Read the text for gist means read it for the main idea, not a single word or single sentence, whatever, but look into the main idea given in the particular paragraph or text. Gist will help you to identify opinions. This particular gist will help you to identify opinions. Identify opinions by hedging words. Number 3 is identify opinions by hedging words. I'll explain to you later what are hedging words. And 4, read for emotions or subjective agreement. That also I'll be explaining to you. Look for opinions in the main clause. Okay, I have taught you about dependent clause and main clause. So usually opinions are in the main clause. Don't be misguided by the independent clause. Okay, main clause means that independent clause. Don't be misguided by dependent clause. Look for modal verbs that you already know. Focus on the structure of the paragraph. So I repeat, number 1, read the text for gist. Number 2, gist will help you to identify opinions. Number 3, identify opinions by hedging words. Number 4, read for emotions or subjective agreement. Number 5, look for opinions in the main clause. 6, look for modal verbs. 7, focus on the structure of the para. Don't worry, I'll be explaining to you all these details. And identify opinions by marker words. Marker words could be something like, in my opinion, I think, say, I believe. All these are marker words which will tell you this is an opinion. But if they use this particular expression, in my opinion, I think, say, they say, or he says, I believe, all these are marker words for opinion. Identify opinions by hedging words. Hedging words means probably, perhaps, maybe, and likely. All these are hedging words. If these words are being used in the sentence or in a text, in a particular part of the text, that says it's an opinion of the writer or some other person. And read for emotions or subjective agreement. Emotions means you'll be less putting some words with a lot of emotion, saying that it's a compelling idea that you should practice persistently with patience to get a good score in OET. So compelling means it is interesting. It's interesting. It's compelling. These are the emotional words or subjective agreement words. Remarkable. The progress of particular OET aspirants or few of the OET aspirants is remarkable and worthy of attention. Remarkable or worthy of attention. Unfortunately, sadly, some of them could not make up because they lack practice or persistent practice in their goal. Okay, those are. 5th one, look for opinions in the main clause. Or writing subtest, I explained to you structure of the complex sentence, whereby you have an independent clause and a dependent clause. Where I said you can either start with the dependent clause or independent clause. Both the ways you can structure the sentence. For example, despite the countless challenges that the OET aspirants face in the low resource environment created by various service providers, OET remains the best hope for many health professionals in building up their future. So, despite, the first part is the independent clause. OET remains the best hope for many health professionals in building up their future. This is the independent clause, okay, or the main clause we call. The dependent clause is also known as subclause, and independent clause is known as main clause. So always don't be misguided by the opinions given in the subclause or the dependent clause, but always look into the main clause. So OET remains the best hope for many health professionals in building up their future is the main clause. But whereas in the subclause or dependent clause, they have given a negative impression about the OET learning, okay, about low resource environment created by various service providers. But the fact is, what the writer wants to say is OET remains the best hope. So it's very positive. So don't be misguided by the subclause or dependent clause. Focus on the main clause. Look for modal verbs. I need not explain that. Can, could, should, must, all those things are there. Already I have explained in the previous sessions. And 7, focus on the structure of the paragraph. I already explained to you in different triangles, different models, where it speaks about topic sentence, supporting sentence, developing sentence, and the linking sentence. Okay, those are already done. Now we are going into a passage today. This text is taken from OET official materials. I thank OET for allowing us to use this material. Thank you, OET. And let's launch into that so that we have a competent text today. Very interesting. And the text speaks in a sequence. Fact about ADHD. Second paragraph speaks about a controversy about the condition, about this particular condition or disease. And paragraph 3 speaks about ADHD and other conditions. 4, onset or genesis or the beginning of the condition. And paragraph 5 speaks about diagnosis and drugs, and also or drug manufacturers, drug companies, all those things. And coming to the last paragraph, we have after effects of medication. You can see a beautiful flow here. This is what you have to understand the gist or the message of the text. So the first paragraph speaks some fact about the ADHD. It is the introduction. And second paragraph speaks about a controversy regarding this disease or condition. Third paragraph speaks about ADHD and other conditions. There are confusions regarding symptoms, how to confirm whether a particular person has ADHD or some other condition or mental disorder. Fourth is onset or beginning of this particular disease or condition. Fifth is, definitely diagnosis and drugs, the medication aspect of it. It's also connected with the drug manufacturers. Last one, definitely after effects of medication, or you call side effects or whatever, addictions and all those things to the medication. You can see a clear sequence flow in the whole text. This is what you have to understand. As you skim through, you can get these things, and I'll show you as we go on. Now, I am going to look into the text gist or main idea, questions, clues. So a sequence. See, fact about ADHD. 15 questions speaks about writer questions something. He is challenging something. The second one, controversy. I told you, second paragraph speaks about controversy regarding ADHD. And Dr. Saul objects, a particular person objects certain things. So controversy happens when there is an objection. These are the clues from the questions. Okay, ADHD and other conditions. The question 17 speaks about distinguishing ADHD from other conditions. Fourth one is onset or beginning or genesis. 18th and 19th question speaks about studies and adult onset of ADHD. Okay, different various studies on this particular condition. And 19th speaks about adult onset ADHD. Fifth paragraph speaks about diagnosis and drugs, as I told you, medication. And the question 20 speaks about drug companies, drug manufacturers, and they are linked to this particular medical professionals or the medical condition or the way of testing and confirming. Sixth one is after effect of medication. Question 21 speaks about physiological reaction. 22nd day speaks about addiction to ADHD medication. The beauty of that sequence is, see, this is gist. See, first one I said fact about ADHD, childhood disorder versus afflicting adults. So this is a particular paragraph where you have to understand the gist. This is the introduction or the first paragraph. You can see beautifully it is written. You see all these numbers. I told you have to concentrate on these things, adjectives and modal verbs, comparison, more, and also the conjunction. So now to understand the gist here, you see, you have the American Psychiatric Association recognized attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, as a childhood disorder in the 1960s. But it wasn't until 1978 that the condition was formally recognized as afflicting adults. So what do you see? I have highlighted childhood disorder, but afflicting adults. So this whole text will speak about ADHD affecting children and adults. So there are controversies going on, whether the onset is at in the childhood, or can they get as adults, can they have this ADHD without having it in the childhood? So the whole paragraph, the first sentence, the topic sentence, or what you can call the thesis statement of the whole text, tells you what is the whole text is about. That's what you have to understand as you read the first paragraph. Once you understand the first paragraph, things are going to be very, very easy. Then you have this fact they are speaking about. In recent years, the USA has seen a 40% rise in diagnosis of ADHD in children. Again, I say in their Telegram discussions, again, I hear that you say 40%. That is wrong. Please correct yourself. You should never, ever use percentage after digits. 40%, 50%, 60%, never percentage. But you can say high percentage, low percentage, better percentage, all those things you can use, but then never, ever use the expression percentage after the digit. So it is 40% and don't say 40%. You say has seen, article should be there. Usually there you have a problem. Majority of you have sent your letters, have seen, you have a difficulty with the articles. You can't say USA has seen 40% rise. It's USA has seen a 40% rise in diagnosis for ADHD in children. It could be that the disorder is becoming more prevalent, or as seems more plausible, doctors are making the diagnosis more frequently. Now, why it is it's a big issue now? They say it could be maybe they are using a modal verb. It could be, not sure. It could be that the disorder is becoming more prevalent, or as seems more plausible. Plausible means believable. Doctors are making the diagnosis more frequently. Now you see, more frequently they are making diagnosis. Maybe in Kerala is an example, they are making more tests, so there is more data about the coronavirus or the corona affected patients. So also here, they say earlier there weren't enough diagnosis made or effective diagnosis made. Today we have effective diagnosis patterns, so that's why we have more number of ADHD patients. The issue is complicated by the lack of any recognized neurological markers for ADHD. Means neurological markers or symptoms are not very clear. So what happens? We have to rely upon subjective symptoms or some hearsay, or it's not very sure what are the symptoms exactly. And they explain, I don't want to go into detail, but only one thing I want to tell you, look at the focus or the thesis statement or the main sentence, which I highlighted with green. That is the mother sentence of this whole text. If you understand that particular sentence, it's going to be very easy to understand the following sentences. So here it says, but with a contrast here, the whole text is going to speak about childhood disorder and adulthood disorder. ADHD affecting children, affecting adults. Now let's go into the question. This is the first question. Can somebody read for me?
First paragraph, the writer questions whether adult ADHD should have been recognized as a disorder at an earlier age. ADHD should be diagnosed in some way for children and adults. This can actually be indicated by neurological markers. Cause of ADHD have genuinely increased in the USA.
Okay. Now, when you read, hold the mic closer and little more powerful next time. See here, first paragraph, the writer, the first paragraph is mentioned. As soon as you start, before you start answering the things, just mark the paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that immediately you launch into that particular paragraph. You not go on counting so that you waste your time. So first tip is that you have to mark the numbers against the paragraphs. So in the first paragraph, the writer questions, means there is a disagreement. The writer is not agreeing with the thing. He is questioning particular aspect. The answer is cases for ADHD have genuinely increased in the USA. Okay. He questions whether cases of ADHD have genuinely increased in the USA. And we have seen in the paragraph, it has not genuinely increased because they have put more diagnosis now and the system has improved. So it is possible that these are putting into more of diagnosis more frequently so that you have more number. It doesn't mean the ADHD is affecting more people. So the author has an apprehension, he doesn't agree. So he questions the fact whether they agree. Let's see how it works. See, writer questions the whole aspect about ADHD. They say a lot of people are suffering from ADHD now. So is it a fact? So in the first paragraph, the writer questions whether cases of ADHD have genuinely increased in USA. And the first one is adult ADHD should have been recognized as a disorder at an earlier date. They don't speak anything about earlier date. They say, but it wasn't until 1978 that the condition was formally recognized as afflicting adults. They say it was recognized. It is a factual statement, so it is not giving an opinion. So they are trying whether you can understand the difference between fact and opinion language. So here, option A says, adult ADHD should have been recognized as a disorder at an earlier date. But here they say it wasn't until 1978 that the condition was formally recognized as afflicting adults. So this doesn't go there. Means they already say factual statement they have made. By 1978, the condition was formally recognized. So that is eliminated. ADHD should be diagnosed in the same way for children and adults. They don't speak anything about diagnosis of children and adults. They say there is a difference, and it says it specifies that patients under 17 must display, means children must display at least 6 symptoms of inattention and or hyperactivity. Adults need only display 5. So this is contradicting to the statement here. So that can be eliminated. ADHD can actually be indicated by neurological markers. Nothing is mentioned about neurological marker in the whole text. So that's also eliminated.